Hello, Peggle Knights. We're doing this. I said this in the what the fuck is it called? The retro rewind. Um, we're just gonna be playing some Peggle. That's it. That's the whole game. We're clearing out these orange pegs. If I get all of them, we win the level. That's it. This whole time doing this project, I think I've been taking it simultaneously like a little too seriously and not seriously enough in some spots. And the parts that I think I've been taking too seriously is the I need to force myself to try and push myself into being loud and brazen and funny and whatnot. And now that I have and I've had, that didn't go the way I wanted to. Now that I have and I basically sort of brought out the silly part of me as best as I could, as much as he currently exists in this form. I'm now realizing that I think the best way to get any sort of gains out of this project is to simultaneously be less mindful in the sense of I want to do am I goated? I am goated. I'm pretty good at Peggle. You're probably gonna pick up on that. Not like I play the Peggle games all the time, but Peggle is one of those games that makes sense to me. I wouldn't class myself as a gamer in the sense that I'm really good at games. I'm actually pretty bad at most of them. But Peggle is thankfully one of those ones. It's like Mahjong where when I picked up on it, I was like, oh, I get this. And I've just kind of been running with it. Do I get the Bjorn super shot? The super guide. Yeah, okay. Anyways, I think my priorities should be less in the sense of trying to be funny and finding good games that get me to really open up. The narrative driven games are really good at getting me to talk and come up with stuff, and I think there is still some utility in that. I'm not saying that that's just completely waste of time or anything. I'll probably still do that occasionally here and there, but what I should be prioritizing is more of this type of thing more often and less of if I can do 30 minutes or an hour of Peggle 5 times a week instead of one video of we'll be charitable, 2 videos of Dispatch or any of those types of games twice a week. I think I should be prioritizing this. Am I going to be able to? That's a tough shot. I think I'm going to have to go for something like this. I should be doing something oh, I fucked up the shot. Whatever, man. I didn't fuck up the shot. I should be going for something like this where the gameplay itself is not going to take me out very often. Occasional moments, fine, but even then, what is this going to contribute to whatever conversation I'm having more than just oh, I missed my shot, no, you know what I'm saying? Really, what I should just be doing is to just yap. It doesn't matter if it's funny, doesn't matter if it's good quote unquote content or whatever. It's not content in the first place, so I feel like I kind of did the orders of operations a little backwards there, TBH. I should have been doing this for 2 years, and then after a while it's then you can bust out the games that'll be good for quote unquote content and yapping and talking. Who knows, maybe even though it's not a goal or even a priority in any case or in any sense. I fucked up the shot, that's fine though. You would be, by doing this and having it be elevated to another level because you've done a better job at I don't know, that's not how I wanted that shot to go. But because after doing this for like a couple of years or something, like I said, like if I did this right, I would be better at yapping, and therefore like my base yapping for those games where, I'm recording something, and maybe even then it's still just like, yeah, I'm just doing this because it's fun and I want to. Can I nail this? I'm doing this because it's fun and I want to practice yapping because I don't get a lot of opportunities and I don't really want to lose it, blah, 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 blah. And then it would be better yapping, right? Like if we're prioritizing for some sort of outcome and the outcome is better yapping because that is evidence that this is working and that I've done a good job, then I should have done that. But I didn't because I'm dumb. So we're doing it now. So, yeah. I expect to just play Peggle, like, we'll see. I always say that I want to do it a couple times a week, and after the last 2 weeks, I've been actually doing that. Like, I've had like 4 recording sessions in the last like 10 days. That's pretty good. There's also like a case where I shouldn't be too hard on myself because it is a little outside of my control, just like my availability and when I get the time to do this, and maybe I start and then something happens and I have to walk away from the house, and that's going to take up the rest of my night, and the whole session is basically moot. Like I recorded 10 minutes and then I had to go, and it's like, okay, well, what the fuck is the point of this then? But my problem is that I ramble. Do you think I can nail this? I'm a genius. My problem is that I ramble, so when I do start a conversation, or at least doing this, it's not very focused, and it's all over the place, and I forget what I'm talking about, like, halfway through, and I think, like, oh, I should make this point, but I'm currently talking about this. I'm going to put a mental note in that, and saying I'm going to put a mental note in that is basically just, like, nope. If you wanted to talk about that, you should have done it right then and there, because it's not coming back. It's not coming back until afterwards when you skim through it and you go like, oh, I wanted to talk about that. But then, it's too late. So, best way to get over that, I think this is actually worth it. Do I get a long shot for that? I do. The best way to do that is just do this. So, it's not going to be very fun, I imagine. It's not going to be... To tell you the truth, it's not going to be much of anything. It's just going to be, if you are watching this and you were like, what if I decided I wanted to be a classic 2013 style Let's Play YouTuber, and I'm just going to boot up a game and start yapping, and on top of that, the game you picked is Peggle, and that's what you get to inspire conversation from. What this is going to be is probably pretty similar to that. It's probably, I don't really think you have to stretch your imagination a whole lot. I don't think I'm really bringing that much more. I might lose, or I'm goated. I don't know if I'm really bringing that much more than the average person is. Like, even if I wanted to be nice to myself, and I do believe in myself and have a lot of self-confidence, I do think that at my best, I shine a little bit brighter than others, not to like knock anybody down, but I just have a lot of faith and confidence in myself. Wait, it's only 5 stages each? Oh, this game isn't gonna take much time at all. Fuck! I am gonna have to do fucking Trick Shot Simulator eventually. No! I was hoping Peggle could last me like, I don't know, at least 5 videos. It's not looking good though. Anyways. I think it's good to just, do I get the multi-ball again? Because that would influence what my shot is going to be. No, you just get it the one time. Okay, that's fine. But yeah. It's just going to be filling dead air. There's not much more I can really offer at this time. Obviously, by the end of this, and by being more consistent and, doing it more often, I hope to be better at it. And when I'm better at it, I don't know, maybe I'll do something with it, but For now, it's just... I'm here to fill dead air. I'm here to force myself to talk as much as I possibly can. Ah! Damn it, that sucks. I think I'm gonna lose. I kind of played this one poorly. That's okay. Not here to show off my Peggle skills. Peggle is just kind of like a thing that I'm using to stim, basically. It's, you know, because otherwise I would just be like sitting here at my table staring at the wall, trying to think of stuff. At least here with Peggle, I'm like, my hands are doing something, my eyes are trained on something. Occasionally I'll say like a thing about the game, in which case, did I use both of the multi-balls? Like this, where it breaks up stuff. So if I'm too far in on a rambling thing, the Peggle will eventually break me out a little bit, but this is mostly, the Peggle is mostly here for me. The important thing as a result, the results that I'm getting out of this is not amazing, impressive Peggle gameplay. It is the ramblings, which will start poorly, not be of much quality at all, but will eventually, should the hypothesis be proven marginally truthful and accurate, to be better. And then, of course, you know, if I'm better at this, then the idea is that I'll be better at just, you know, doing everything else that requires me to think and make words and string thoughts together. You know, skills that pretty good to have, and it sucks that I've been kind of losing them. So all of this rambling to say, don't be here. A lot of my friends have found these, and sometimes when I go to upload a video, I'll see that the last video has like 10 views for some reason. What are you guys doing here? Why? I'm seeing like random views pull up on the video so often that I'm almost like tempted to be like, what's going on here? Leave a comment. What the fuck is going on here? What are you guys doing? I'm a genius. That was amazing. It is like a little concerning to me, because it's like, do I have like an audience? I didn't want that to happen. I just wanted to have fun, play games, and like give myself an excuse to like be a little chatty. Oh, that didn't go the way I wanted it to. But I'm not asking that. Don't leave a comment. If you are here, I don't know. You can do whatever the fuck you want to, I guess. Okay, here. You can leave a comment, but don't fucking share this with your friends, alright? If you are cool enough to find this, and if you're cool enough to realize how cool I am, even if I'm in this, like, state that I'm not necessarily the most psyched about, right? Like, the foundations of me and my best are like here still, like every day, but they're not as refined as A, they used to be, and B, as well as I want them to be. So I'm not making YouTube videos for fucking YouTube, okay? I'm putting them on YouTube because it's free storage basically. But whatever. If you want to watch them, and whatever, that's fine. I don't really care. I knew that this could happen when I left them public. That's fine. But no sharing. I don't want your fucking friends getting in on this. All right. You're special enough to find this. I don't want nobody else. They're not cool enough. Okay. I don't know how you would find these videos, because I purposefully like title them the most vague thing ever, where it would basically, to find it, like I thought about this, like with the Hollow Knight videos, to find Hollow Knight Part 12, like that specific video, from Gavin GG2. Like, how many pages? Oh. Like, how many pages of Hollow Knight YouTube did you have to burn through? Like, why is it getting recommended at all? Anyways, I'm not gonna pretend like I understand how YouTube's algorithm or whatnot works. I'm not fucking looking at it. I'm not trying to do anything with it, so I don't care, actually. But, you know, if I do this for a little bit and we get to the point where I am like actually proud of some of the videos that I make, not because they're, you know, like just because, you know, because of me, right? Like, what are you getting if you're a random YouTube video or random YouTube viewer and you stumble across this? Nothing. You're getting admittedly pretty good Peggle gameplay, but like, who the fuck is watching Peggle? And the other thing you're getting is me, which I can't say is, out of all the choices you have to entertain yourself, why like this stumbling, scatterbrained mess? I couldn't tell you, but I do know me, and I like what we're working with in here, and if I can like refine it a little bit, then maybe I could see it, and in which case, in 2 years, if it's like I'm gonna record Until Dawn 2 all the way through, because it's a narrative-driven game, and I like doing those, and it's fun to like yap over them, and I can be witty and do funny voices and commentary and whatnot. In that case, then it's like, okay, well, maybe I'm not like explicitly making them for like a YouTube audience, but like if it's like commentary that I'm like proud of, like, god damn, I was funny with recording the Until Dawn 2 shit. It's a shame that only I get to see it. Then it's like a door inadvertently opens up. Not to like, I don't know, not to be perceived as like beating around the bush of like, oh no, it would be awful if somebody found these videos and thought that I was funny and watched all of them. I'm explicitly telling you, don't send these to your friends. I don't want them here. But by the end of it, if the results speak for themselves, then the results speak for themselves. So I don't think that's going to make it. Oh, I shouldn't doubt myself. That was dumb. I should have just taken an easy shot. So yeah, I'm gonna be doing these. I'm gonna be booting up the Peggles for now. Maybe eventually I'll stumble into like Trick Shot or like Jump King or just another game where you're just kind of like mindlessly doing a task, but you don't really gotta think about it too deeply. Oh, I really wanted that to slide. Oh, that's fine though. If people were to find me, at least, like I said, at least for now, I would prefer if it wasn't this. It would be a real, like, monkey's paw situation, I feel like. If, for some reason, like, in a week, I'm like, why the fuck is Peggle Knights 2 popping off? Peggle Knights Part 2 popping off? Why are people watching this? And it's like, okay, well, you're a YouTuber now, and it's because people like your Peggle gameplay, Gavin, or whatever. That would be a real, like, bittersweet outcome, because it's like, wow, luck, like, smiled upon me. That's amazing news. I have to, like, do something with this now, because, you know, you shouldn't take an opportunity like that for granted. But at the same time, it's like, I want to be proud of what I'm doing. I want to be like, I want at least hit one orange peg. Okay. And we got the free ball bucket. But like, I want to, if people like know who I am and they're like are like looking forward to like something that I'm doing or whatnot, like I would prefer if it was something that I was like proud of. I'm not like proud of these. It's kind of, it's not to call it slop, because it's, like I said, it's not even for somebody else. It's not slop to be fed to somebody else. It's just like, it's like an artist becoming super viral famous for like a couple of doodles they made in like their textbooks or whatnot. Like, I would prefer if it was like the real stuff that I made, but whatever. I guess I gotta be the textbook sketch guy. We are burning through Peggle Nights much quicker than I really wanted to. This is scary. I don't remember what spooky. Oh, is this the one where it like has like a aura around it, so it has like an AOE effect, and then when it gets to the bottom, it like drops at the top again. It's been about 4 or 5 years since I played Peggle 1. Why would you play Peggle, Gavin? Even in fucking 2021, out of all the games to play, why Peggle? Well, I'll tell you, because I'm here to talk, and that's a thing I can talk about. This was when I was working as essentially like a phone banker, but like paid for the teachers union. So I would make phone calls to like teachers all around the nation and basically just be like, hey, are you part of your union? Like, we would love to have you. This is what we're doing. This is what we're fighting for. Like, it was basically like reaching out to teachers. That sucked. Reaching out to teachers to like let them know that like of their like labor rights, I guess. Like the fact that other teachers have like organized to help get them better pay and better benefits and get more funding for their schools. And it was truthfully like the most out of all the jobs I've had in this long life of mine, he says as someone who's not even 30. In all this time, that is definitely still the most rewarding job I have ever had, was calling those teachers and helping them out. Well, so much for that. But, you know, me and my fucking, like, either autistic or ADHD riddled brain, I couldn't just sit at my computer, stare at the wall, and talk to teachers. Because if you do like phone work, you would know that you're like your computer's like hooked up to a client, and it's just constantly making calls until someone picks up the phone. So like half of the time, like throughout half of your shift, you're just kind of like sitting, waiting for the phone to connect. Right? Like the program is like sending out like 300 phone calls at one time, and then someone picks up the phone, they connect it to you, and then it's go time. Now it's show time. Now you're talking. But a lot of the times you're just kind of like sitting, waiting for that to happen. So, I wanted something to do during that downtime, and maybe I was a little bad, and I continued playing Peggle during the calls too, because obviously, as you can see, doesn't really take that much out of you if you're not completely locked in on it. Right? You can play Peggle and have a conversation. That's why I thought of it. Crazy. But yeah, it was basically Peggle. That's what I used when I first got the job. For like the first like month or two, I would just grind out Peggle. Now the second, when Peggle was over, I went to Bloons TD because I figured it was sort of similar, but any Bloons heads would know that like eventually as you get into Bloons and it becomes harder and harder and harder, it is not one of those games where you can take it lightly. It is one of those games where you gotta lock the fuck in. So I was also kind of getting old. Like I spent like a solid like 3 months just grinding out Bloons TD during work shifts. But after that, during the downtime, I would read a visual novel, and it was Higurashi When They Cry. And let me just tell you something. Out of those 3 games, there was one of them that shined a lot brighter, and I look back to a lot more fondly than the other 2. But Peggle is still fun, and when I thought of when I made the realization that I have to that sucks. I have to pick a game where you're doing technically something, but it can't be too much. I was like, well, I know that there's Peggle Knights. I haven't played that yet, so here we are. Again, the goal is not riveting content. I don't believe I'm there yet. I can't believe I actually nailed that. But it is simply to just... Alright, let's actually do this now. To just get myself to yap. I don't know if... So I came in today, and I was I explicitly don't want to, podcast. That was, a thing I did in the old times. Not the old times. A year ago. When I was I want to play a game where nothing is happening, but I want to talk the whole time. I was a good idea would be to have topics prepared. And if I do 6 of these and it's really bad and I clearly need some assistance, maybe I'll do it. But for now, and at least for another video or 2 or however many, until I feel it becomes necessary, we're not going to be using prepared topics. It's not going to be a podcast where I'm talking about a specific thing and you get to stim out watching me play Peggle. It's just going to be me trying to force myself to get something out of nothing. Right? Which, as you can see, in my gaps in saying anything, we got a lot of work to do there. Oh, I was really hoping. I felt so good about that shot. That's fine though. I will say though, if you can believe it, these videos are not the only ones that I'm making. I got a good computer, and the idea there was to start making some videos, just to see if something happens. One of them is a video where it is this is Gavin, this is what I'm going to be doing. If you like it, I would like it if you stuck around, if you hit one of those buttons or 2 and you stuck around for more, because I would like to do more of these, the stuff that I'm proud of, right? I just whiffed that shot. I knew I was going to whiff that shot, but I still made it. But that video is a lot of work. Of course it is, but still, I'm doing that on my off time, or wherever I can, because given how, I don't have complete control of my life, and I don't have a lot of time to do what I want to do, blah, blah, blah. It's hard to find the time to do it, but when I do get the time to do it, I take advantage. So there's that. That'll probably be, if I can really simultaneously lock in and also, have luck fall on my side. I'm really hoping that can be a thing that I can release in a couple of months. If I can lock the fuck in and at least get a decent draft of it in my timeline and pretty close to done by the end of the summer, that would be fucking huge. I would love that. But I'm this is my first time actually trying to do videos and stuff. It's I should have timed that with the ball bucket. I'm not exactly the most practiced at it, so I might die here, but it's fine. Yeah. I'm not exactly the most practiced at running the timeline in the editing program, so I would love it if I could get it to be done, like I said, by the end of the summer, beginning of fall, but the nicer priority I can have for myself would be to just work on it and for sure, have it ready by like the end of the year. That's probably being a little too gracious with me, but like, I don't know, I'm in a vulnerable spot, man. I'm not I gotta be, nobody else is being nice to me. God certainly hasn't been. I gotta be nice to myself, so. But I am trying to lock in and get that done. There is another one that I'm working on where it is just it is an edit. It is like a highlights compilation. It's a clip thing. It's a clip compilation for a streamer that I enjoy, who I feel like could be bigger, and not enough people are. There's not like already a bunch of people like doing videos of this streamer. So I'm like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna do this because I think it'd be fun, and because this was a funny stream, and to practice the editing, right? So right now with the editing of the 2 videos, I'm not even editing the creatively fulfilling one yet, because I'm still like in the process of like making the stuff for the timeline. But because it is rare, or not rare, but it is hard to like get the days where I can continue to grind out that other video. So like 2 out of 3 days, if I'm like, okay, time to like lock in and do one of these videos, 2 out of the 3 days I'm working on like the editing compilation. I was doing that earlier before I hit record today. And he was talking about like a TikTok that he saw where someone's snack recommendation was to get a cup of like sliced pickles and then to dip them in yellow mustard. And he was like, why would you do that? That's horrifying. Why? That's out of all the things you could do, And what it made me think about was like the nature of like making content in our day and age, and it and how like kind of sad and depressing it is. And I made an exception because it's the first day of doing the literally nothing simulators, and also you gotta yap your ass off session. So I was like, okay, we can bring that into the video because it's the first day, but also because it is like sort of like related to all of the thoughts and preamble that I had about like content, even though again the primary thing is to yap good, but given the medium that I am using to get better at it, it obviously kind of makes sense that content and its creation is like a thing that is kind of at the forefront of the mind. And if I make any skill, like I can do this and it'll actually pan out, and I'm like better at talking while playing video games, and then I'm like, okay, I'm ready, I'm gonna go talk to the cute girl at the coffee shop, and then I go there and I'm like what so what's your favorite ability in Peggle? It's like, oh no, this only works for video games. But even then, it's like, okay, well, something good came out of it. I guess I'll start streaming or whatever. But the existence of like the way that the younger generation has like latched on to content creation, and it's and like the mindset and the attitude toward it does make me a little sad. This is not to say like, grr, the younger generation is dumb and stupid and things were better in my day type shit. But like, now that we live in the world where the engine is like full steam, cut the brakes on being a content creator. If you can make it, you should do it. Do anything possible to be successful. It it is it is strange the results you get out of the incentive structure that we are operating on, is what I'm saying, right? How do I like put it simply? So like rage bait is like an obviously like lucrative business model because it gets engagement to do and say things that are aggressively like combative or like an affront to like people's senses and tastes is a successful one, because that it's easy to like when you're like scrolling on TikTok, and I don't want to purport myself as like the TikTok expert or anything. It's like it's one of the few things where I like explicitly am like, I don't like this and I don't want to engage with it and I don't want to watch it. You know, like I'm kind of yapping about it because it is something that it, you know, like it's like the guy who likes to read books talking about why he doesn't like movies. You know, it's like pretty easy for me to like not only come up with these observations but to also run my mouth about on them. But ooh, I didn't think that was gonna make it, but it'd been cool. But sometimes I like see some of the content from like 15 to like 22-year-olds. Let's put that as the age range. And it feels like this perverted derived version of like content from like 2015, right? Where like Markiplier and PewDiePie were obviously like exaggerating and making things a little bit bigger than they actually were for a bigger reaction. But at the same time, I do feel like you could like sense their like authenticity. Like maybe they weren't that scared by the jump scare in the game to scream that loudly, but it still got them, you know? It's not like a complete fabrication. It's not a complete like show or this like unbridled like effort to get into like making content, right? Like at some level it is also just like them exhibiting themselves, and because they themselves are entertaining, funny, blah blah blah. Oops. Oh, thank you. That was really kind of you, because I did not deserve that. But sometimes I see, like, you know, like modern day YouTube voice. Hey guys, so today we're gonna like doing all that stuff, and even like narrativizing it sometimes, where I'm like, why are you like pretending that the video game is like actually haunted? That type of shit, and like, and obviously like rage bait, where it's like you are doing something that is purposefully like you also know that this is cringe and bad and blah blah blah, but you're doing it because you know that people like watching cringe and bad shit, so that they can yell about how bad and cringe it is. But at the same time, it like I get that bag, you know, grind it out, do what you gotta do type shit. But at the same time, like I in a sense, like these kids are like much like stronger than I could ever be, because I am like, my pride like would forbid me from using the YouTube voice unironically, from like pretending that like the premise of a game where it's like you're being sent to the middle of the woods to live in this log cabin gifted to you by your mother or by your grandmother, but maybe their ghosties are around and maybe it won't be such a fun time, maybe it'll be a little scary, and to like talk about it and talk through the game as if it's like anything but a video game. Like just like all all of the like modern hallmarks of like this, especially rage bait, where it's like, aren't like your face is in this, man? Aren't you like embarrassed by like anybody like knowing you and finding this and thinking about you differently? Is like, do you have like that much faith in the, yeah, man, it's just for content? Yeah, man, I don't actually like, does that like, I don't know. I don't know. It's just like some of the shit you see these days. Like the excuse of like, well, it's really popular and successful and it pays the bills and whatnot. Like, you can also like send pictures of like your feet to people. That probably pays better than your shitty like little rage bait TikToks. Like the ability to like make terrible shit just for the chance of making it in the easiest job in the world, but the hardest one to get into content creation. Like, it's not that they're like dumb and they don't realize that it is cringe or weird, or that only like a baby could watch what they make and actually take it seriously and whatnot. Like, they know all of that, but there's sorry, I was just like stammering because it truly is one of those things where I can't like occupy that mental space. But like to have pride in that and to be like, yeah, man, I'm making that paper. Like, even though it's at the cost of like your like face and your reputation and like your ability to be taken seriously like by other people your age or by other adults. I don't know how they do it. But I also think like I remember growing up and hearing that like millennials and zoomers, they don't want to work anymore because we like are asking for like, you know, like health insurance and stuff, and that we don't have to like work 60 hours a week to get that, you know. Like, I'm used to the narrative that the younger generations are lazy and they don't want to do anything. And in a sense, this is like a byproduct of that, where they don't want to view themselves as like an accountant. They would rather see themselves as like a Mr. Beast or an iShowSpeed, where they can just have fun and do whatever they want and make millions of dollars doing it, right? Obviously, it's like the last generation also, like Gen X and Boomers, they all wanted to be rock stars. They all wanted to be movie stars and whatnot. That was seen as like a similar thing. That sucks. Oh no, it doesn't. It got the peg I wanted anyway. But when you see this, and it truly is like I'm grinding, I'm getting that paper, I'm making work and whatnot. This is like work to the like, not just in like the socialist sense of like, you know, you are still laboring when you make content and whatnot, but in the sense that like they're putting an awful lot of effort into being one of the most like pointed and mocked at people, or openly hated people on the internet, or whatever form of like engagement bait that you're doing. They're putting a lot of work and a lot of themselves into it, a lot of self-worth into it. Even though I would be like embarrassed by it, they can like look past it somehow because they are, you know, if you're like part of the 90% of people where it literally goes nowhere. It's like, okay, well, I gave it a shot, I guess. You know, if I could have made it, then I you know, that was, I like had to find out, you know, if I could have been the next KSI or whatever, I needed to find out, and I put in the effort. Turns out that trying to convince people on TikTok, or quote unquote trying to convince people on TikTok to try cups of pickle slices and dipped in yellow mustard was not the formula to to riches. But how am I gonna get this one? Oh, maybe I should be a fuck everything that I just said. Maybe I should be a fucking Peggle tuber. Is that what they call them? Peg tubers? Anyways, this is like such like great evidence of like my problem. I have a thing that I'm trying to describe in my mind, and it's so clear in my mind, but my mouth and my brain are so disconnected from not having to talk to people and whatnot like on a regular basis that I'm like fucking I'm rambling. I'm floundering. The observation that I wanted to get to was that this like drive to make terrible content for the chance that it oh, I was really hoping that would have slid, I guess is the word. It kind of like reminds me of like it seems like it's kind of like a, I'm trying to like find the best way to describe it, and I can't do it, so I throw up my hands up. I'm just gonna ramble my way through it. It's kind of like how like workaholics like justify like doing everything they can to get ahead at like work, right? Like nowadays it's like I'm gonna put my everything into being the most rage-inducing like TikToker on the planet, because if I can do that, then you know, I get a bunch of money, everything was worth it, and I can do whatever I want, and blah 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 blah. And it was like it's kind of like a similar thing in the before times, where the only way to become rich and wealthy beyond your wildest dreams as easily as you could, I should say, was to just do really good at work and hope you can make your way up the corporate ladder. And by the end of like 20 years of degradation and humiliation and being treated like a footstool, eventually you'll, if you're lucky and if you really did the work and like kissing people's asses and whatnot and doing whatever you had to do to make it through, then eventually you get to be the one with your feet up on the footrest, right? And this feels like kind of like the internet version of that, I guess. If the internet is a giant like skyscraper, like a workplace, like a corporate office setting, then it feels like the internet is just full of like workaholics who are trying to make it up and quote unquote like be their own boss. Which is like sad. I don't know. Like I think there's like something noble in really putting everything into like what you do, right? Into your job. Like if you are like, it doesn't even have to be anything like super like noble, right? Like running like an animal shelter or something. Like if you can like, if you take pride in your work and you put everything you can into like, oh, I knew I could have fucked that up. That sucks. I knew it was a possibility, but I still took the shot. Like if you're like a, I don't know, like in, God damn it, I just really wanted to make that shot. Like if you're one of those like AutoCAD guys, I should say. I don't know I, I guess engineer, but an engineer kind of like already leads itself to being like a noble profession. But like, if you're like an engineer and you are tasked with designing like a cup holder for a car, and you do everything you can to like make it so like engineering wise it is the greatest cup holder, the peak of cup holders in all of humankind, even if it's like silly to say that out loud. I don't know, man, I use cup holders, we all do. Like, you're contributing something to society and being helpful and whatnot. Like, it's good, you're like doing your part. But to like put that level of drive and effort into this, which doesn't fucking matter, and at the same time, it's so much more like humiliating because like if you're trying to make your way up the corporate ladder and your shitty boss who you hate comes up to you and says, "Hey, I know you're interested in in making it up and getting that position as the assistant manager in that other department. Um, Listen, I know the guy who's hiring for that job really well, and I could put in a good word for you, and it'd be a big step up in your career. But you have to help me out. I'm actually having an affair with the secretary from HR, and I need you to come to this spot where we do our business afterwards. I'll give you a call when to come by. You have to get into your car, pick her up, and drive her home every night that we fuck, so that neither of our partners get catch it or whatnot. You're just going to be quote unquote driving her home from a late night at work. And if you can do that, and if you stick with it, then maybe you have a higher chance of getting that job." Like, with something like that, it's humiliating, grating, like fury inducing, like all of these stuff. But like at the same time, it's like hidden, you know? And to me, that like at least like pride and shame wise makes it better, because then it's just like, okay, it's degrading that you have to do this to make the next step up, but only you and the boss and I guess the secretary from HR knows. So like it's easier, at least in my mind, to like swallow your pride, put your head down and do it. I'm not saying you should do it, you shouldn't have to do it at all, but like I guess the internet is like to make it into this is truly like kind of one of the rare examples of like an actual meritocracy. Not like it's pure 100% like only, you know, the people who work the hardest and who make the best stuff make it to the top. That's obviously not the case, but it is pretty close to like an actual like you hold up one shade to the wall to like compare paints and you're like, that's pretty close, I guess, actually. You know, you really do have to put in the work and to like really put your ass out there. But like everybody knows you're doing it. Like whether it fails or if you do make it, I don't want to be known as the guy who like fills cups full of pickle slices and dumps mustard in them, and that's like here's a healthy way to like lose calories while also having retaining your salt for like moisture. Like I don't want to be that guy. Like, if you don't make it, it's obviously embarrassing because one of your coworkers or something, like, you have to resign yourself to, like, oh, I gotta be a wage cook now. I actually have to do something. Not to say that they're only doing this because they're lazy or whatnot, but, like, you know, I think everybody would agree, like, if you can make it doing that, you should, because that is the best way to live, to just make silly stuff, post it online, and then people just pour money into your bank account and you don't actually have to do any work. Like if you like obviously I'm not like knocking the drive or the ambition to do that. I would be a hypocrite. I'm like throwing my hat in the ring right now, even though I'm trying to like stay as close to my own principles and like my own desires as much as I can doing it. But it feels like everybody Oh, I guess that's really all I have to say. I'm not that deep, actually. I actually do feel like I had a deeper thought, but I'm completely blanking on it now. But hey, we're gonna do this fake content where I play Peggle and Trick Shot Simulator and whatnot. You know what? If I decide to bring it up again, maybe I can round out this thought. But oh, I actually didn't want to continue. I was gonna leave it there. We're already at stage 5, man. God damn. I'm too good. I'm too good at Peggle. What can I say? Oops. Yeah, it makes me sad. It makes me sad that people, not only that people feel like they have to do that in order to really realize, fully like make the best of their one shot at this, quote unquote. You know, you can. It's never too late and whatnot, but I can understand the drive of being like, I'm 19, I'm only getting older and older, I have to do this now, type shit. So not only do I think it's sad that people feel like they have to, but like that the incentives have been around long enough now where it's normal and people feel normal doing it. And if I feel kind of like a stodgy old like boomer who's like, humph, humph. If you want to make stuff, it should be stuff that actually interests you and something that you find satisfying to do, even if it doesn't like result in like millions of views or lots of engagement or angry Reddit posts made about your TikTok or whatever. Because like even if you do make it, like no wonder so many content creators after like a year or two get like burnt out and like stop doing it. Like not that this like was like not to say that this is like completely analogous and like it is like what I was thinking of when I came up with all this. I just thought of it now. Like Kai Cenat came back to stream like a day or two ago, I think I saw, after like taking like a 9-month hiatus because for like 2 years all he was doing was streaming like 80 hours a week, being like full blown 120% all the time. Like nobody's like that all the time, and you know, if your like heart's not like he like the 9 months he was away from streaming, he like wanted to like read and like do like I think he wanted to start like a clothing brand or something. Like he wanted to do like real stuff because yeah, if you're just doing this, whatever you made work in this, and your heart's not completely in it, then like no wonder you're like I can't I'm gonna fucking lose my mind if you expect me to put another fucking 60-hour week doing this shit. I don't know. I don't know why. I do know why. I don't, but I'll finish out the thought to end this. I don't know why I keep talking about content creation on this. I mean, it is literally what I'm doing, so it's obviously at the forefront of my mind. Trying to get better at yapping here and doing my fake let's plays so that I can be better at being funny and whatnot. But it's easy for me to think of that stuff, to think of like all the other people in the rat race who are doing something like I'm doing now, but with like so much more of their heart in it and with their ass exposed and on the line and like feeling kind of sad and silly about doing this just because it's fun. And I, you know, maybe in like a week, in like a year or two, maybe I'll accidentally make a goated let's play, and you know, by then I'll be fine with being a let's play guy. Or like I'm just doing this to just do it. And it's a icky world we live in. It's an icky world where people feel like that they not only have to do this, not only that they're incentivized to do this, but like this is the way to do this, is to like make yourself essentially into like a clown for everybody to mock or laugh and, you know, yell derisions at for their poor taste in anime or video games or snacking or whatever. But I digress. That's all. That's all. I leave now. Thank you. Bye bye. Bye bye. I love you. Bye bye.